Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the 28th episode of my Black Ops 2 weapon guide. This time, we're covering the Chicom CQB. Unlocked at level 37, this weapon is unusual in that it's the first burst-fire SMG seen in the Call of Duty series. The Chicom CQB is based on the export model of the real-life Chinese SMG, the QCW-05. The initialised name translates from Chinese as Silenced Assault Gun, as indeed the weapon comes equipped with a suppressor. The original variant of the weapon, intended for the Chinese market, was chambered for the subsonic 5.8 by 21mm DCV-05 cartridge. The variant seen in Black Ops 2 is the export model, intended for a wider market, and is chambered for the more common 9x19mm Parabellum cartridge. The 9mm magazines are interchangeable with existing MP5 ones, and the integrated iron sights of the export model are replaced with Picatinny rails for greater customization. The model seen in-game makes use of these rails with a built-in yet non-functional tactical light, similar to that seen on the FMG-9 from Modern Warfare 3. In-game, damage is low, and despite the Chicom firing only 3 rounds per burst, you'll usually need at least 4 shots to kill. At a middle range, you'll quickly hit the Chicom's minimum damage, where you'll need at least 6 shots to kill. Paired with its low penetration, damage is clearly not this weapon's strongest suit. Only the Scorpion Evo trails the Chicom in such traits. Thankfully, output is more than generous. 1250 rounds per minute within the burst, and with no mandatory delay between each 3 rounds fired. With a good trigger finger, you can put a tremendous amount of lead downrange, and pairing the Chicom with rapid fire will let you fire a spectacular 1893 rounds per minute, the fastest potential fire rate in the game. Select fire will allow you to fire full auto, but will decrease your rate of fire to 937 rounds per minute, the same as the Vector or MP7. The Chicom's high rate of fire complements its hipfire performance nicely, with its unaimed accuracy more than sufficient for close quarter use, on par with most other SMGs. Recoil is generally low, principally kept in check by the burst fire. Your major opponent in long-range engagements is the low damage. Within the effective range of the Chicom, it's easy enough to land 3 rounds on a single target. Aim time is quick, at the SMG default of 200 milliseconds, and movement speed is similarly quick, at 100% of the base speed. Magazine capacity is fair, at 36 rounds or 12 bursts. Extended clip will take this to 48 rounds or 16 bursts instead. Reloads are relatively fast at just 2.1 seconds, and given that the burst fire mode will help to limit consumption, resupplies will seldom prove problematic. Our build of the Chicom is designed for flanking your enemy, defying their expectations and appearing behind their lines, leaving them very vulnerable to attack. To this end, our 2 main priorities are stealth and speed. Taking lesser travelled routes rapidly without detection, so that you can inflict maximum damage upon the enemy team. Our first picked endpoint is spent on the suppressor. This will prevent you from appearing on the minimap when you fire, and will permit aggression without breaking a stealthy approach. You do lose a portion of your effective range, but the Chicom's damage differential is relatively low, so shouldn't prove a problem. Next up is the laser sight, tightening your hipfire spread to make for a more effective reactive defense. This is useful for unexpected encounters, as the Chicom's fire rate renders it particularly quick to kill, a couple of unaimed bursts normally sufficient to fend off a foe. We kick off our perk selection with the Perk 1 Greed wildcard, permitting 2 choices from the powerful first tier. Ghost will keep you off radar whilst on the move, nearly essential for a successful flanking build, as otherwise you'll find your opponents prepared for your arrival should they have a UAV. As long as you stay mobile, you'll find yourself running into unprepared enemies more often, tilting the balance in your favour and resulting in easier kills. Next, Lightweight grants a 7% movement buff that will make you more manoeuvrable in gunfights and let you cover open ground more quickly. This will help keep you in the fight more often and give your enemy less of a chance to set up a defense, further enhancing the element of surprise. We skip over the second tier and instead equip 2 mobility enhancing perks from the third, with the Perk 3 Greed wildcard. First is Extreme Conditioning. giving you double the sprint stamina, helping you to cover larger distances and get behind your opponent. Paired with lightweight, few will match your mobility, and you'll have the utmost ability to exert positional dominance. Next, dexterity will mean you can remain competitive in close-quarter gunfights, even while sprinting. And while you should aim to enter gunfights prepared, every once in a while you might need such rapid response. Combined with a laser sight, you'll be able to land shots on a close-range target before they're able to react, almost certainly resulting in a one-sided gunfight. Our final point spent is on the tactical insertion. Place it down in a safe, low-traffic location to choose your next spawn point, and further confound your opponent's expectations. That's our build. A deadly blend of stealth and speed, ideal for aggressive maneuvers along subversive route. With good map knowledge and an awareness of your enemy's position, you can deal immense damage, completely defeating your enemy's ranged defense by appearing in an unexpected location. It's imperative that you make good use of your mobility and seek indirect routes to get behind your foe. A direct assault will often lead you into your opponent's sights. Instead, feel out the unguarded portions of the map, whether via underground passage or precarious ledge to circumnavigate your foe. Remaining undetected until you're firmly within enemy territory should be your prime concern. Once you're behind the lines, you can start to deal a crippling blow. And with your ability to remain hidden from radar, you can change your position to elude any reprisal. Should you prove successful, you'll frustrate your opponent and render them helpless. Their defense broken, and your victory assured. The Chicom CQB is an interesting SMG with the potential to dispense an alarming amount of lead in a short space of time. Paired with great handling traits, it's this ability to rapidly spew lead that proves to be the Chicom's key trait. In a close-quarter gunfight, you'll usually be the first to land a shot on target. The burst fire mode can be inconvenient, but paired with a good trigger finger, it can prove as effective as an automatic weapon, and otherwise enforces recoil control and helps extend your magazine to tackle multiple opponents at once. Unfortunately, despite its low recoil, the weapon suffers at a longer range due to its poor damage. With 6 shots to kill, it's generally better to flee from longer-ranged engagements than attempt to land multiple bursts. Still, as long as you limit the Chicom to close-range engagements, its performance is solid. And while it lacks raw damage, the fast fire rate means it will prove consistent in closer quarters. As long as you cut your cloth according to your means and don't overextend yourself with this weapon, you'll tear the fabric of your opponent's defense and leave the kill feed bursting at the seams. Thanks for watching. This has been Xbox Ahoy. Join me next week when I'll be covering the Hammer. Until then, farewell.